I waited for my visa for 7 months. Guys, just imagine you take time to prepare. You go to the embassy, you're in love, but bureaucracy says, let's test you. Welcome back here. This is Julian Joy. For those who are new here, you are very welcome. I'm documenting my journey and I hope it can help someone out there who is stuck. And for those who are returning, good to have you here again. So today I want to share a bit of my visa journey. It's story time. Let's dive right in. I applied for my visa from Nairobi, Kenya, but I am a Ugandan. So when I went for the visa appointment, the interview, I made the application in July. I had my visa interview in August. When I was directed to the page while I was applying, when I was directed to the page to book an appointment, I booked for August. It was early August 2025. I get to the embassy and I am told I'm supposed to apply from Uganda because I'm a Ugandan and they have specifications of the country they handle in the German embassy, Nairobi. The thing that helped me was that I had sent them an email earlier in June asking them if I could apply from Nairobi, and in that email they responded and said it was okay. So that was my bail. So they were left in their dilemma. They started following up. I was sent to go pick my phone because they lock it up before you go to the people that interview you. I was asked to go pick my phone. I was asked when I sent the inquiry, who responded to me, and then they asked me to wait. They went and held meetings, and then I think about 40 minutes later they came back to me and then they just told me it's okay, you can go. Because by the time, okay, this is what happened. While I was in the counter interview, you know, the Ugandan passport and the Kenyan passport have blue covers, so they look similar. So she didn't notice. And then my name is also in a tribe in Kenya, so she didn't notice. So when I was leaving and then I had finished paying, they have taken my photos, everything. That's when she wanted to put my documents in my file and, you know, let me go. That's when she realized, she flipped on the cover of the passport and realized, oh, this is not a Kenyan passport, you're from Uganda. And I'm like, yes. And that's where everything started at the last point. So they had received my money, I had been entered in the system. I guess if I hadn't been entered earlier, it would have been a whole different story. But thankfully, guys, praying, like putting God first, is everything. Do not underestimate that. I prayed before I went. It's like, God, you go ahead of me, you favor me even before I reach there. And that is basically what happened. I could say it was the hand of God for sure. So I leave and then I started the waiting. 2 months later, not 2 months, okay, almost 2 months, because it was the end of September, they get back to me and they tell me I have a missing document. Okay, they said they need me to verify my medical degree, because the kind of visa I was applying for, I wanted a bit of a work permit as well, so that, yeah, I come into my new country and at least I can do some work. That's what I wanted. So I had to prove my academic journey to them. And guys, the process of verifying the degree alone, when you apply for it, it takes 3 months. I had to submit the application, waited the 3 months, which while in the waiting, I planned a wedding. We planned a wedding, a very intimate wedding. In long distance. The wedding happened in Uganda and I wasn't there. My fiance, then my husband too, wasn't there. that's a story for another day. I'll talk about how we did the wedding planning, so look out for that video. So let's continue with this visa journey. So what happened, they got back to me at the end of September and asked for that degree verification. We had to apply for it. It takes 3 months, and the 3 months were ending on Christmas Eve 2025. You know, people are broken off for the festive season. So we definitely knew they're not gonna get back. They got back, and then they were not content with the transcripts, my degree transcripts and everything I sent them. So they asked me to submit new photos. I had to write back to the embassy because they had retained all my original documents. They return it when they've given you your verdict, rejection or acceptance. Yeah, so I had to write back to the embassy, and they gave me a call. They asked me to make an appointment and collect the documents I needed. I collected them at the start of January. That was around 8th. I submitted it to the people that had asked, because the email came straight from Berlin. So I submitted the transcript and the documents, the academic documents they had asked, the new copies, and they worked on it, and on 15th January they sent me the documents. Yeah, no, they didn't send it on 15th. I think they sent it about 4 days later. Oh God, the dates are skipping. But they sent it to me basically not a long period, about a week, and then I submitted the documents to Berlin. Guys, 2 days after I submitted my documents, just 2 days, I get a call from the embassy, and it was my delivery for my passport. No, sorry, for my visa. It was such a beautiful moment because it has been God. The other thing I didn't share is, in this whole waiting period, there's something I was doing called meditative envisioning. Like every time I prayed towards my visa, I saw myself out of, Nairobi, out of Africa. I saw myself in Germany. And as a matter of fact, it moved. You know, when you're doing meditation, there's levels of meditation. For those of us who are Christians and practicing, I'm not talking about the meditation of the yoga and stuff, because I don't know what they do there. I'm talking about as a Christian. When you're going through the levels of meditating, there are parts where you just ruminate and think through the whole thing, and then from there you start muttering it under your breath, and then you roar. So in this process of meditative envisioning, I reached to a point where I was literally convinced that I'm going to be granted, and this delay is not going to stop me. And for that reason, every morning I looked at the mirror and I would speak to the person, me in the other side of the mirror. You're leaving here soon, you'll be in Germany, and all that stuff. Even on my way to work, I would speak. Like, I spent my time as I walked to work speaking to my future, speaking to the thing I was believing God for, that I had believed God for in that moment. Like, I would say, hello, good morning, Nairobi. Today is one of the last times I get to see you. I'll be saying farewell to you soon. I spoke to my environment. You guys, it looks crazy, but that's the path of faith. And it has worked for me. The far I have reached, for me, it has worked for me, because I am one person who believes that prayers is the only thing you can send ahead of you, and it goes ahead of you and waits for you. That is so true. I've been doing this even while I was still in school. Like, I would speak how I'm going to do my residency out of Africa. So I'm sharing this with you, like I'm sharing this trick. It could help someone out there. So that's my story. I waited for 7 months for my visa, and then it happened faster than we thought. Yeah. I'll talk about the bit of leaving my work and moving. So just watch out for the next videos that are coming. The stories are loading. And thanks for tuning in. Let me know where you're watching from, if this has inspired you in any way, if there's someone out there in the process of believing God for that visa, you can share this with them, or anything that you've learned from here. I'll be watching to read all your comments, and thanks for tuning in. See you next time.